delighted to be here with so many friends. Representative Ayanna Pressley, the owners of this incredible market we're at, La Sultana, Senator Sal Di Domenico, Representative McGonigal, Mayor Van Campen, members of the City Council, and so many people representing the advocacy organizations aimed at combating hunger. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to welcome everyone this is our second stop on our statewide End Hunger Now tour. And over the next few weeks, I'll be traveling to every congressional district in Massachusetts to listen, to learn, and to shine a light on what hunger really looks like in this country. And let me give you a number, and it's a shocking number. Very close to 100,000 people in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts are now at risk of losing their food assistance because Donald Trump and House Republicans passed the big ugly bill. House Republicans slashed nearly $200 billion from SNAP in that bill, and that represents the largest cut to food assistance in American history. They cut food benefits for all 42 million people who rely on SNAP, including 16 million kids, 8 million seniors, people with disabilities, veterans, and working families who are already stretched to the breaking point. And now, thanks to their cuts, hunger in America is getting worse. And it isn't happening by accident. It is happening by design. It is happening because politicians in Washington decided to take money from working people, from our communities, and give it to giant corporations and billionaire donors. I think that's an outrage, and I'm proud to be joined today by my dear friend and colleague, Representative Ayanna Pressley, who has been on the front lines with me fighting back against these awful policies. Ayanna has been such an incredible advocate for working people throughout her time in Congress. She knows that regular people are getting screwed in Trump's economy, and she has been a tireless champion fighting for an economic system that works for everyone and not just those at the top. And I'm grateful that she's here, and I'm grateful that she's my friend. The bottom line is that because of what is happening in Washington, families are losing the food assistance they depend on. Their benefits are being cut, and many people, seniors, veterans, workers, are being kicked off altogether. And at the same time, food prices are going up, thanks in large part to these stupid tariffs. And guess what? When people can't afford to put food on the table, they don't magically stop being hungry. They need something to eat, and so they come for help. And places like La Sultana do all that they can to make sure that people of this community are accommodated and have access to good, nutritious food. So we are here. We came here today to listen to members of the community, to listen to individuals who are impacted. And if they can't move people, maybe they'll shame people. And we are going to fight. We are going to fight. We want a country where 48 million people are not hungry. And now let me turn this over to my friend Ayanna Pressley.
Thank you, Jim. I've been in Congress now almost 8 years, and when I was a freshman at orientation, I received the very best advice, which is, in the process of legislating and governing, never forget the plot. And some people do. And the plot is the people. And I am so grateful for Congressman Jim McGovern because he never forgets the people. He centers the people in everything that he does. And that's why we're here today, because he's meeting people where they are to talk about a crisis in our Commonwealth and in our country that is really man-made. It is manufactured, it is cruel, and 100% preventable. Again, as the Congresswoman representing the Massachusetts 7th Congressional District, it is wonderful to be in the city of Everett. I'm so proud that Everett calls the MA 7th its home. I'm grateful to our host today here at La Sultana, grateful to Martha, Victor, Adriana, Jose, and the entire staff here at this brand new store. I would encourage people to please support local. Make sure you come and spend time here. If this is your first time here, make sure it is not your last. Certainly grateful to Mayor Van Campen and all of our colleagues and partners on the municipal and state level. And again, of course, thank you to the person who brings us all together today, Congressman Jim McGovern, who today has embarked on a tour across the Commonwealth to end hunger now. What we're experiencing in Massachusetts is not a crisis of accident. It is not naturally occurring. It is a crisis by design. It is one that is precise and intentional. And might I add, in that we are embarking upon numerous events to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I will invoke the words of his bride, Coretta Scott King, a leader in her own right, who said that starving a child is violence. Contempt for the working man and woman is violence. Neglecting school children is violence. The hunger crisis that we are facing today is policy violence. Plain and simple. The occupant of the White House and his enablers in Congress have gutted critical nutrition assistance programs like SNAP under the false banner of waste, fraud, and abuse. Moreover, they often invoke God in justifying what they're doing. I've yet to find a scripture that says, "Thou shalt make people hungrier, poorer, and sicker and less safe." But that is what they are doing. And they continue to use the tool of clemency and pardon to pardon fraudsters, yet they claim to care about waste and fraud. They inflate the budgets of rogue agencies like ICE that terrorize our communities and routinely trample the rights and dignities of our immigrant neighbors. The city of Everett, again, which I'm so proud to represent, has seen the consequences of this policy violence firsthand during the Republican government shutdown, the longest in our nation's histories. Communities like Everett bore the brunt of lapses in SNAP funding. Again, as Congressman McGovern spoke to, that has never happened in the history of our country. This administration reasons. Food pantries were overwhelmed, and I'm just so grateful that we have persevered in the midst of it all. And I thank my colleagues on municipal and state level who've stepped up to ensure Massachusetts neighbors did not go hungry in that lapse. But survival is not the same as justice. I mean, food is not some abstract thing. It is dignity. It is medicine. It is essential. The physical and mental health of my constituents depends on their ability to access food that is healthy, affordable, and culturally relevant, like the food here at La Sultana. And what we've heard today from community members is that stores like La Sultana make that possible, allowing families from across Greater Boston to shop with dignity, well, because they come from Boston to Everett, to shop with greater dignity using their SNAP benefits to purchase food that reflects who they are and how they live. And again, to Congressman McGovern's point, the face of hunger is everyone, from every walk of life. It does not discriminate. Refugees, disabled veterans, seniors, single moms are being forced to choose between putting food on the table, paying their heating bill, and keeping a roof over their heads. These are the people. Again, Jim McGovern never loses the plot, and the plot is the people, and that's why I'm proud to be a member of the Make Hunger History Coalition, an effort Congressman McGovern helped launch in 2023. So, again, we gather here today to do something about this great injustice, which we can end. Today's convening is a meaningful step towards food justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Pressley, Representative McGovern, for being in the city of Everett. It's an honor to have you here. As I mentioned during the roundtable discussion earlier, food insecurity is an issue that is acutely felt in the city of Everett today, and we are blessed to have so many community organizations that are filling that void. The problem is they're hanging by a thread right now, and any further attacks from Washington are simply going to put so many people into the abyss. So we can't allow that to happen. We appreciate your efforts, and again, we're honored to have you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Senator?
Thank you to my good friends, Congresswoman Pressley and Congressman McGovern, for all that they're doing fighting against the tide in D.C. Quite frankly, this is not a D.C. problem. This is a Republican problem. This is a president problem. This is not a D.C. problem. We have to realize that our friends in the Democratic Party are fighting the good fight every single day and making things not worse than they are right now. This is a challenge for all of us at the state level to fill the gap that the Republicans are creating in states all across America. Who are they attacking? Immigrants, poor people, LGBT people, trans people. Every person that they are fighting against is feeling the pain. There's a checklist in the Oval Office of how can we hurt people today? And they go right down the list. And that is what is happening. And us at the state level have to fill those gaps and those holes so the residents of our communities get what they deserve and get what they need. And we are seeing potentially a $3 billion hole caused by the Republicans in DC. We as a state cannot fill every single hole or gap that is created by the terror and by the abuse that is being brought upon our communities by them. I want to thank our delegation. We are lucky we're from Massachusetts. We are very lucky that we have people in our delegation who are fighting against the tide, who keep pushing every single day. But I will say this, food insecurity in my district in particular, Everett and Chelsea, two communities that are the hardest hit by all the cuts that potentially be coming our way and what is happening with SNAP benefits and all the other things that are happening that are being caused by those folks that I mentioned. People are having a hard time surviving. There is fear in our communities. People that qualify for benefits are not putting their name or addresses on paper for fear of being targeted by the federal government and having ICE at their front door. We cannot sustain the hatred and what is happening in our communities going forward. It is unsustainable. We deserve better.
Yes.
We deserve better, and we can do better.
Yes.
Our country was not built upon the values that we see today coming out of DC, Republicans in DC. We can do better.
Yes.
And we know that we have our fighters behind us who are doing that every single day. Thank you to our community organizations who are filling in the gap and doing more with less every single time they have to
Yes.
do, helping folks.
Yes.
We are trying our best at the state level to help them overcome all the inequities that are being brought upon our communities. But I've talked enough. We know we have a battle on our hands, and we have fighters behind us who are doing just that every single day in DC. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I don't know, did anyone else want to say anything before we?
Our owners
Let me again say we love La Sultana. This is an incredible place, and we're honored to be here. And we thank you for not only this wonderful market, but we thank you for your commitment and your caring for this community.
Yes.
So thank you all very much.